you know you're my everything.
Okay, Jeremy, thank you. Louisville R&B star Stephen Garrett was laid to rest today. Known in the music industry as Static, Garrett died Monday from complications from a medical procedure.
Not many people knew exactly what happened to Static Major before he died, but now we know. Static was one of the best things to happen to R&B, but his journey to fame came with its own struggles.
Check this out, though. Them back, man. I know y'all been waiting. I'm sorry. We've been trying to get that paper. We waiting. You know, we got some man. They said R&B was dead.
And if that wasn't already hard enough, he had to fight just to be recognized for his work. But the credit still didn't come.
It was like, I'm about to take over. This is it. I'm about to take over the industry. I'm going to run this. His album was going to be called Supper Time.
Then, right when things were finally starting to change for him, everything took a different turn. So, what really went down? Let's dive in. Stephen Garrett, better known as Static Major, was born on November 11th, 1974, in Louisville, Kentucky. He grew up around music. His dad was a musician, his mom was the church choir director, and his older sister played piano. By the time he was 3, he was already singing in church. That's when he knew he wanted to be an entertainer. He even sang on a local TV station at that same age. When he got older, especially in his early teens, people at school remembered him always rapping, singing, and making beats on his desk. They said he was cool, funny, and a ladies' man. But most people didn't even know he could really sing, because where he was from, he didn't show off like that. Still, he sang. He and some friends formed a gospel singing group, and they would go up against other local groups. Some of those groups would later include the people who became his future group members in Playa, Black, and Smokey. Their group was very popular in the city at the time.
Music is it's like breathing. Simple.
But when Static was 16, something tragic happened. His only sister passed away from heart failure at age 22. Static took it very hard and blamed the hospital for her death. He started struggling in school and getting into trouble, which led to him being sent to a program called Burger King Academy. It was a program for talented kids who were having a hard time. That program ended up changing his life because the school recognized how gifted he was. They asked him to sing the national anthem, and when he did, he won a full scholarship to the University of Louisville. He was only 17. Around this time, he created the name Static Major. He said he wanted to bring static, meaning a strong presence, to the music industry, and he added Major to stand out from others with similar names. After high school, around 1991, Smoke and Black had a group called A Touch of Class. They met Devontae Swing from Jodeci at a concert in Kentucky. They sang for him, and he liked them. He told them he would sign them after his Jodeci tour. The group continued performing, but they ended up losing a member. Smoke then ran into Static at the University of Louisville and asked him to join A Touch of Class. Devontae kept his promise. He started his production company, Swing Mob Records. He contacted Smoke and wanted to place him in 2 groups he was working with at the time, H-Town and Intro. But Smoke told him he was already in a group and wanted Devontae to hear their new member, Static. When Devontae heard Static, he loved his voice and style, so he signed the group to Swing Mob and Da Bassment Crew.
I'm over here and you over there. There's been
Devontae moved all of them to Rochester, New York to work on music. He also signed others who were just starting out, like Missy Elliott, Timbaland and Magoo, Genuine, Stevie J, and more. When Static, Smoke, and Black arrived, Devontae changed their group name from A Touch of Class to Playa. Everyone in Da Bassment lived and worked together like family. Devontae didn't let them listen to the radio or popular music, so they had to create their own sound.
First started out, they all lived in the same house. This is what was told to me. Like I said, I met him after the Player album, and they all just recorded.
Devontae later said that Static was the most talented person he signed because Static could both sing and rap. That's why Static was featured on songs like True OG with Dalvin and on Gin and Juice, which was on the Dangerous Minds soundtrack that went triple platinum. On the Gin and Juice remix, Static rapped alongside Timbaland and Magoo, and he held his own. By 1996, most people had left Devontae's Swing Mob label because he was too busy to really work with them. Static and his group, then called Little Playas, recorded an album, but it was never released. A lot of artists had finished music that never came out. On top of that, artists like Missy Elliott and Timbaland felt Devontae was using their ideas without giving them proper credit. His behavior pushed everybody to leave. Static and his group stayed a little longer. They kept helping Devontae by writing and producing for other artists. But when Ginuwine left, he and Timbaland got a deal elsewhere. Ginuwine reached out to Static to help him come up with something. Without hesitation, Static dug right in, and everything was set.
R.I.P. Static Major. He was doing his thing with the pen. I said, yo, man, you gotta help me write this, man, please, please. So I gave it to him, and I went home, and he was like, yo.
The song Pony was finally released. It blew up. It hit #1 on the Billboard R&B charts for 2 weeks, reached #6 on the Hot 100, and went platinum. Static even won an ASCAP award for it.
If I have to change the things I would do to you.
Later, Static and Ginuwine fell out because Ginuwine wasn't giving him full credit for writing Pony. After that, Static and Little Players left Devontae too. They got new management under Blackground Records, run by Joe Mo Hankerson, Aaliyah's cousin. At this time, Blackground was already having success with Missy, Timbaland, and Aaliyah. With Blackground behind them, the group got a record deal with Def Jam. They also changed their name to Playa. On March 24, 1998, they dropped their first and only album, Cheers to You. Their first single, Don't Stop the Music, did okay, but the second single, Cheers to You, became a big hit. It reached #3 on the Billboard R&B/hip hop chart and became the most requested video on BET.
Baby, someone will look to your mind. Girl, I'ma make it better.
They also did a song with Aaliyah called One Man Woman. But even though their music was good, the album didn't sell well, and Def Jam didn't really get who they were. The label wanted them to look and sound like traditional R&B artists. Suits, polished style, outside writers. Playa didn't want that. Def Jam shelved their next album, so the group turned to songwriting and production. That was something Static wanted anyway. He didn't really want to be a star in the spotlight. He knew the real money was in writing and producing, which he learned from Devontae. Plus, he could make beats too.
It set us down and really taught us how to write songs. You know what I'm saying? We would, like, Static had this formula where he would take the beat, so if the beat was like boom, cat, Static would be like, and he'll hum.
After the Def Jam situation, Static helped on Timbaland and Magoo's Welcome to Our World album, which went platinum. He also worked a lot with Aaliyah, who was huge at that time. Blackground needed a song for the movie Dr. Dolittle. Missy was supposed to write it but was too busy, and the song had to be done the next day. They called Static. He wrote, Are You That Somebody? And he and Aaliyah finished it in about 3 hours. There were rumors that Static and Aaliyah were dating. According to Static's mother, they really were a couple. She said Aaliyah was crazy about him. Static even brought her to his mother's wedding, which was a big deal because Aaliyah's parents didn't let her go many places. Their relationship was kept quiet from Aaliyah's uncle, Barry Hankerson, but both of their families knew. Funny thing is, Aaliyah didn't like Are You That Somebody at first, until she heard the finished track. The song became huge. It went to #1 on the charts and earned her a Grammy nomination. The Dr. Dolittle soundtrack went double platinum. Static also wrote Same Old G for Genuine, and later So Anxious, which became a massive hit and helped Genuine's album go double platinum. Though Static and Aaliyah eventually broke up, they stayed close and continued working together. After that, Static met his future wife, Avanti. They got married and had 2 kids. Around this time, Static's name was everywhere in the music industry. He became one of the top songwriters. He wrote You Owe Me for Nas and Genuine, worked with Nicole Ray, and wrote Say My Name for Destiny's Child. He also did background vocals on Jay-Z's Change the Game. He worked with Aaliyah again on her movie Romeo Must Die, writing Try Again, which hit #1 on the Billboard charts and won MTV Awards. Aaliyah was also nominated for a Grammy for it. Static also wrote Come Back in One Piece, featuring DMX. The next year, Static and his group Playa helped Aaliyah work on her final self-titled album. They spent about 2 months working with her overseas in Australia. A lot of the songs Static wrote for Aaliyah's final album were actually done back in 1998. He wrote We Need a Resolution, More Than a Woman, which hit #1 in the UK, Rock the Boat, and several others. Static wrote most of that album. But on August 25, 2001, Aaliyah died in a plane crash after filming the Rock the Boat video in the Bahamas. Static was heartbroken. He was supposed to be at that video shoot too, but this time he didn't go. When he first heard she had died, he thought it was a joke. He didn't believe it until he called her family and they confirmed it. After that, he didn't even want to hear his own songs on the radio. It hurt too much. Even though he was grieving, Static kept working. He wrote Addictive for Truth Hurts, which went #1 in the UK. He was featured on David Banner's Crank It Up. He wrote Can I Take You Home for Jamie Foxx. He helped P. Diddy with Tell Me featuring Christina Aguilera. He wrote for Pretty Ricky, including On the Hotline and My Body. He also worked with Pleasure P, Brandy, JoJo, Sunshine Anderson, and many others.
How I feel about you.
Static Major, actually he's always been a part of me, like even when I was in a group. Like he was like the 5th member nobody knew about. But it's definitely like a loss to me. Like that's my brother. Like
even with all his success, Static didn't live a flashy lifestyle. He didn't party or chase the spotlight. He was a family man. He spent his time with his wife and kids, took them to football games, and hung out with his friends back home. His friends were the ones driving his nice cars. He was still just a regular, humble guy. At the same time, he was working on his first solo album called Supper Time, which was going to be released through Blackground Records. Other labels like Atlantic and G-Unit wanted to sign him, but he stayed with Blackground because they were the ones who believed in him first and gave him his first real money. He had huge producers lined up for his album: Timbaland, Dr. Dre, Scott Storch, Pharrell, and more. The album was going to be big. Then Lil Wayne reached out to work with him. Wayne already had Thaw Carter 3 done, but he was missing a crossover hit. When he and Static got together, they made Lollipop. The truth is, Lollipop was really Static's song first. He already had the hook and idea before giving it to Wayne. When the song came out, it blew up. It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, sold over 9 million copies, and won a Grammy for Best Rap Song. Lollipop helped Thaw Carter 3 sell over 1 million copies in its first week and over 8 million overall. The album won a Grammy for Best Rap Album, and Wayne's song, A Milli, won Best Rap Solo Performance.
That was Lil Wayne's biggest record. That I feel like I mean, I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think that was the turning point in Wayne's career where everything went crazy after that.
Static was at the peak of his career. His name was everywhere. He was getting ready to release his own album. But on February 25th, 2008, everything changed. Static Major passed away in a hospital due to complications from a medical procedure.
Yeah, Static, man. He ain't make it out the hospital, dog. Sometimes when they don't make it out, you know what I'm saying?
During the filming of the Lollipop music video in Las Vegas, Static had been sick with a bad cold. After the shoot, he flew to Atlanta to work with Lil Eazy-E, even though he didn't feel well. He told Lil Eazy-E he felt dizzy, so he went back to his hotel. Later, he called his mom and his wife saying he couldn't swallow and was losing his voice. They told him to go to the hospital, even though he hated hospitals because of what happened to his sister. But he felt too sick to avoid it. The hospital told him it was just acid reflux. A few days later, his wife picked him up from the airport. He was in a wheelchair with his eyes shut, and she was scared. They took him home so he could rest. Around 3 a.m., she heard him choking. They rushed him back to the hospital. At the hospital, they gave Static IV fluids to stabilize him. He started feeling a little better. They ran some tests because they first thought he might have had a stroke, but he didn't. Instead, they said he had myasthenia gravis. That's a chronic disease that makes your muscles weak. When you rest, it gets better. When you're active, it gets worse.
It was an autoimmune disorder.
Right.
And it was called, it was myasthenia gravis. It's what they thought he had. So we at that point, he'd only been in the hospital 12 hours, so.
The doctor suggested a treatment called plasmapheresis. It's kind of like dialysis. They would put a tube in his neck and chest to filter his blood through a machine and then send it back into his body. The procedure was supposed to happen the next day, but for some reason, the doctor rushed and wanted to do it that same day. Static didn't feel right about it. He didn't like the idea of doctors working on his neck and arteries. He already had a fear of hospitals because of his sister.
Because it wasn't supposed to be done till the next morning in the first place. And then all of a sudden everything was rush. The doctor wants to do it now, and and I'm like, okay. Everything started happening.
His wife ended up signing the papers and she left the hospital. His mother planned to stay with him. Before his wife left the building, she came back to check on him. She said the way Static looked at her felt like he knew it was the last time they'd see each other. After she left, they began the procedure. The doctor put the catheter in his neck without using a scope. Basically, he did it blindly. He did it wrong and punctured one of Static's veins. Blood began leaking inside his body. Static passed away right there. After he died, rumors spread online saying he had a brain aneurysm or that he overdosed. The real cause of death didn't come out until his wife ordered a private autopsy. The private medical examiner reported that Static died from respiratory arrest caused by complications from the catheter procedure.
I ended up getting a private autopsy done. And just so happened is the person who did it was a person who ran the coroner's office for 30 years. So I got him to do the autopsy.
The report also said Static complained about pain right after the line was put in. He knew something was wrong. So Static's wife filed a malpractice lawsuit against Baptist Hospital East and the doctor who performed the procedure. When Static was buried, they laid him to rest in a gold casket. He truly went out in style. What's sad is that Static's mother said in an interview that she watched both of her children die in the hospital. First his sister, then him. And Static always feared dying in a hospital. His worst fear came true. Static's wife now owns all of his music. She started a company called Major Styles Entertainment to manage his catalog. She continues to protect his legacy. They say he has hundreds of unreleased songs. She also started a foundation called To Save a Life, and every November she holds a fundraiser for his birthday. She has also talked about making a documentary about him. Static's group members, Smoke and Black, are still making music and touring. They also joined forces with the group Dru Hill, and they performed together, keeping Static's name alive. In 2016, Bryson Tiller received the Static Major Award at the Kentucky Urban Entertainment Awards, created in Static's honor because he was the biggest R&B/hip-hop star to come out of Louisville. In his hometown, he was honored with a Hometown Hero banner in downtown Louisville to recognize his impact on music and culture. Even though Static wrote major hits for Aaliyah, Ginuwini, Brandy, Destiny's Child, and many others, he stayed behind the scenes. Because of that, many people didn't know his name. Some music critics call him a forgotten genius, someone who shaped the sound of late 90s and early 2000s R&B and hip-hop, even if the world didn't always see his face.